Worldwide movement, peace, love, respect. All right, we're going to finish this video that we entitled Two Types of Life Experiences. That would be the category of lessons and the category of celebrations, right? So, where we left off, as non-corporeal, energetic, spiritual beings who have manifested, who have incarnated into a physical existence, we have the ability, using the aforementioned perspective, to experience, learn, grow, mature, right? So, using that perspective, right, and that ability to do those things, we can sort of tweak the way that we process our life's experiences, right? And we can come up with those two categories, right? Those categories, again, would be lessons and celebrations, right? So the times in our life that we would say have been tough times, hard times, difficult times, sometimes tragic, even catastrophic times, right? Disastrous times. Those difficulties are what would fall into the category of lessons, right? Now, again, remembering that we incarnate into our vessels or our physical beings, right? We need to know that our souls, or our spirits rather, know what they need, right, before they incarnate, right? Our spirits know in what ways they need to mature, or at least in a general sense, what they need to experience before they incarnate. Henceforth, we select the life that we incarnate into in many situations, unless you have a karmic balance, or rather karmic debt that needs to be balanced, and that's a whole nother video. We'll get into that another time. But for the most part, we select the lifetimes that we're going to live before we live them, right? Because there are certain lessons within that lifetime that will aid our spirits in maturing in the ways that we seek, right? So back to these lessons, right? These difficult times. These are opportunities, again, for us to gain what we need to in segments in terms of our spiritual maturity, right? They are experiences that we must process. We must actually experience the mind states, the emotional states, even the physical reactions and interactions that go along with these experiences in order for us to completely process these situations and gain from them all that we need to mature in the ways that we need to spiritually, right? So these life experiences that are lessons that are in fact many times difficult for us, we can sort of take a look at it and realize that there are varying degrees, right? Of course, all through your life you have varying degrees of difficult times that you have to process and work your way through. Those times that are very difficult and that are not so easy to work our way through, sometimes even tragic or cataclysmic, these are the times that actually hold the lessons that are most valuable to us, right? Not only are these lessons most valuable, but they are the most difficult to digest, the most difficult for our spirits to process and mature from, and they are the most important. Therefore, that is why often they are the most difficult, right? Let's rehash that quickly. The lessons that are learned, that are gained from these very difficult, hard experiences that we go through in life are actually the most important lessons to our spiritual growth and maturity, right? And the reason why these most important lessons manifest through the most difficult times of our lives is because we need that input to be that intense so that these lessons are ingrained in our spirit, right? So that we are truly benefiting in terms of development and spiritual maturity from these experiences. That is why they're so tough. That is why they're not so easy for us to go through, right? If you think about it, the things that we go through on a daily basis that may be mundane or quote unquote easy are things that often translate as at least slightly whimsical to us, right? And we process it, we take it with a grain of salt, so to speak. We do tend to absorb them on some level and gain from them to some degree, but not nearly as intrinsically as we would these more difficult experiences, the more difficult lessons, right? So folks out there who are going through a really tough time, or all of us, right, when we may go through different tough times in our life, let's try and remember that. And yeah, we're going to have those feelings, we're going to have those different mental states, those different reactions, but those things we really, as mature spiritual beings having a human experience, we need to learn to have those feelings, reactions, etc., process them, and then move on, right? Move on. What unfortunately happens to many of us is we tend to hold on to those emotional states, those mental states, those bumps and bruises that we incur through life's experiences that really we should just be letting go of. We let go of all that, and the only thing that we really should retain from these experiences is the lesson, right? We should be focusing all of our faculties. We should be utilizing every means of processing information that we have developed, learned, or perfected throughout our lifetimes to process these very important lessons, right? That's why we experience that. So that goes into the category of lessons. Let's talk a little bit about the celebrations, right? So many of us, as we go through good times in life, or happy times, times where we have an experience or feeling of abundance, times in our life where we may have unexpected things that pop in that are a benefit, a bonus, or a plus in some way. These are all times that we should celebrate, right? What are we celebrating? We are celebrating the blessings that we receive from our Creator. Well, King Sadiq, I thought you weren't religious. I'm not. Not a religious bone in my body, but I have always maintained that I'm incredibly spiritual, and that we all should be, in my recommendation, right? Because the fact of the matter is, we all spring forth from our Creator, right? We all originate from one source, right? Nothing from nothing leaves nothing. We don't come from nothing. We come from our source or our Creator. There are many people I've seen lately who like to break it down into, well, you know, we're actually stardust. You know, we all come, these planets are made from the remnants of stars, of the great bursting forth, or the I believe it's referred to in Hindu spiritual disciplines as the 84, is it roars or bangs? But I believe it's 84 that they use. Anyway, the point is that we do not emanate from nothing. We emanate from an energetic source. And we shouldn't feel so detached, right? It is our culture, our society, within this civilization over the eons that has taught us to be so detached from our Creator, which is just a facade, which is actually simply not reality, for lack of a better way to put it. I challenge you to find one place where the Creator is not. I had to stop on that one. I'll start walking again. You cannot find a place that the Creator does not exist, right? Which includes within you, right? Which includes within you. We are of our Creator, right? And I've talked a little bit before about other videos where we need to let our petty differences fall to the wayside, and we most certainly do, because we all, in fact, are from the same energy. We are just different expressions of that beautiful energy. And when I say we all, I mean every person, I mean every plant, animal, thing, anything you can think of comes from our Creator. Period. Scientists who want to step in the room, give their right input on that. Go right ahead. Prove to me that you get something from nothing. Prove to me that the Big Bang does not have a source, right? Prove to me that the first particles that dispersed out into the universe and began to separate, right, and go through the processes of fission, right, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I'm not even going to continue on with that. The bottom line is, you can't prove that the Creator doesn't exist, and the more you try to, the more you prove that the Creator does in fact exist. And now we're moving into a point where we really need to absorb the fact that we are of our Creator. Now, back on topic. Those moments that we have benefited so much from, those moments are in fact opportunities for us to celebrate what we receive from Source, what we receive from our Creator, what we receive from our higher power. However you want to term it, folks, that's fine. Whatever you're comfortable with, do that, right? If you're religious, I got no beef with you. Enjoy your religion, right? But do it not half-heartedly. Do it all the way, right? Express through whatever your means is your love and appreciation for your Creator and what you have been given, right? Because truly, if we look through clear lenses, we have all we need. We are not on this planet suffering in lack, right? We're not lacking anything. We have more than enough food to feed every single human being on this planet. Let me repeat. And those who are aware of the world's resources that are being coveted, that are being controlled so diabolically by the socioeconomic elites on this planet, right? Those that are aware truly understand that we have more than enough food to feed everyone. We have more than enough room for everyone to have a home. We have more than enough resources, period, for everything we need. Energy. We have an abundance on this planet. If you're not familiar with the findings of the great Nikola Tesla, there's an area of research you need to dive into, right? Because that touches on the fact that we have plentiful energy that we can be utilizing right now, but instead the sick addiction of the socioeconomic elite who benefit from the trillions and hundreds of trillions of dollars generated every year from the fossil fuel industry. Probably more than that. That's just a number I'll put on it, right? Not to mention the other grossly gross profit generating systems that are out there, like the military industrial complex. I'm not even going to get drawn off into that other subject, but again, the fact of the matter is we have all we need on this beautiful planet of ours. We should be thriving and living in conjunction with, living in harmony with this planet. We should be living as part of the ecosystem and not part of the ego system. Big difference. In fact, I was watching Brother Ralph Smart the other day. Shout out to Brother Ralph Smart. Was talking about the difference between the ecosystem and our place in it that we should have naturally, right? And the ecosystem that we have adopted so selfishly and myopically in our existence on this planet. We need to get back to being part of the ecosystem and celebrating the incredible abundance that we should have. I will borrow from my brother Frankie Beverly, right? Lead singer in Frankie Beverly and Maze. One of the lyrics that he talks about, he says, I forget the song, but it's like, we should be having so much fun. And we should be. Human beings should be thriving unimpeded on this planet. We should all be living beautiful, abundant lives. We should be thriving on this planet rather than suffering in the means that we are, right? In the fashion that we are. So let's stop and appreciate all that we have, right? All those good times, all the fortune, all the things that we count as our blessings. Let us be grateful and celebrate that. That's the other category of life experiences, of the opportunities for us to celebrate. Often we do, but not nearly often enough. And that's because, unfortunately, not often enough do we appreciate the beautiful blessings that we have received to get us to this point. So, in wrapping this up, folks, again, I categorize life's experiences basically into two parts, or two categories. That would be lessons and celebrations, right? Let's learn from these lessons. Let's experience, learn, grow, mature. And for all these things that we have to be grateful for, right? Let's celebrate that, folks. Let's be grateful to Source, be grateful to your Creator, grateful to your higher power, and let's celebrate that in beautiful fashion together, right? As it should be. All right, once again, Big King Sadiq hollering at your worldwide movement. Peace, love, respect. Ain't no holding us back now, folks. Let's celebrate. Worldwide movement. Peace, love, respect. King Sadiq.